So recently I took a trip with my family to the UK. So here are a few things you need to know before taking a trip to the UK in July of 2022. So first comes the visa, which is the most important thing. So yes, it's the tourist visa. Generally you get a tourist visa of 6 months or longer. You have to apply to the designated visa office. In India it is the VFS. So go online, fill the forms and pay the amount of I think roughly 10,000 to 11,000 rupees Indian currency. So these forms have to be filled and then they have to be given back to the office along with your biometrics at the VFS. And then the question of the hour, how long does it take? Well, in between it was taking a little bit longer, and when we gave our forms, they say a minimum period of 6 weeks. We got our visas in around 2 to 3 weeks. All of us got the visas in 2 to 3 weeks. So that's about the visa. And second thing comes the currency. The currency is GBP, or the Great British Pound, or quid. This quid is actually a slang for the pound. They don't say quids, they say quid. But there are many other pronunciations which they use, like they say Greenwich and not Greenwich. They say Leicester, they say Westminster as not Westminster. Right now they are preferring credit cards, or I would say contactless credit cards or debit cards. So when we went there, when we would go to buy anything and try to pay cash, they would look at us like, how ancient are you? So when you're there, make sure you use your credit cards. Many places are not accepting cash. I think that's the way forward for them post COVID. They're not wearing masks there. I would like to say nobody is wearing masks, so it doesn't look like the pandemic ever happened there. So you have been there, you have got your visa, you've got your cash. How do you travel in London? So you have the OYESTER cards, which is the most economical way. The OYESTER cards give you a free entry for all the buses, for the metro or the tube as they like to call it. You can either order for your OYESTER card online before you reach. So when you reach the airport, you already have the OYESTER card and you can go from the airport to the place where you're put up in London with the help of the OYESTER card, or you can go there and you will get the cheapest OYESTER card in one of the supermarkets. So you have the OYESTER cards, you use the tube or the buses to go. There is another way of travel, which is the cabs. Whatever you do, don't get onto the black cabs. This is because these cabs become very expensive and very fast. There are other apps which you can use for traveling in cabs, like Uber. They're cheaper than the black cabs, or Bolt or Captain. When we were in London in the month of June, it was very pleasant. Some days were cold with rain and most of it was pleasant. But as they say, the weather of London is like the mood of a lady. So always carry an umbrella, because you never know when the rain is going to come and your plans will be all spoiled. So the best app to move around London is not Google Maps. I know we are all used to Google Maps, but the best app would be the City Mapper, because they give you really good options. They even give you rainproof options. So if you are there traveling around on your own, get the City Mapper app. Another thing which you should carry when you are going to the UK is an international plug socket, because actually most of the places in London or the main cities, they have got the new charger sockets. But if you go to the more countryside, you won't get the plug socket. So it's always wise to get an international plug socket with you so that you can charge your devices. Eating out. So London is known for its brew. How do you order? You either order a pint or half a pint, which is 20 ounces. This is how you order and enjoy your brew there. Generally with the food, there are a lot of options for vegetarians, vegans, and I was actually pleasantly surprised by the options that were there, and you will never be hungry in London. When the bill comes, generally the service charge is added, which is roughly 12.5%. If it is not added, you have to give a tip of roughly 10 to 15% of the total bill. And generally they think if you don't pay a bill, the service was not good at all. So if you are happy with the service, please tip them with 10 to 15% if the service charge is not still added. I think that's about it. This is all I learned from my trip to the UK, mostly London, and these are few things I thought it will be of help to all of you who are watching me. And that's all. I hope you have a great trip if you are planning for any vacation, and this is a good time. It's not very cold, it's not very hot, but always carry an umbrella and your SPF.